Imagine the scene. Buckingham Palace, shrouded in the pre-dawn gloom. Not a single tourist snapping photos, no crowds craning their necks for a glimpse of royalty, just cold hard stone and the weight of centuries pressing down. Inside, a different kind of storm was brewing, one that threatened to tear apart the House of Windsor from the inside out. The headline, King Charles pushed to the absolute limit, ready to dismantle the very foundation of his marriage. The narrative that's been carefully crafted, the image of a devoted king and queen consort painstakingly built over decades, was about to shatter. And at the heart of it all, accusations of betrayal, secret plots, and a desperate grab for power that could have rewritten the future of the monarchy. Let's be clear, this isn't just tabloid fodder. This is about the survival of an institution, the delicate balance of power, and the lengths a king will go to protect his crown. We're talking about a scandal that could have made the abdication crisis of 1936 look like a minor blip. The whispers started subtly, like a draft under a closed door. Irregularities in the handling of the royal estate, hushed meetings behind closed doors, and a growing sense of unease amongst the Queen's most trusted advisors. Queen Elizabeth II, even in death, cast a long shadow. Her will, meticulously crafted to safeguard the line of succession, was about to become the battleground for a power struggle nobody saw coming. At the center of the storm was Camilla, the Queen Consort. The woman who had waited in the wings for so long, finally elevated to the highest position a commoner could achieve. But power, as they say, corrupts, and the allure of securing her family's future, of ensuring her daughter Laura Lopes would be forever intertwined with the royal legacy, proved too tempting. The plan, as it unfolded, was audacious in its scope. A charitable foundation, ostensibly to honor the late Queen Elizabeth, would become the vehicle for transferring valuable royal assets, not the crown jewels, but priceless personal possessions, artwork, and even usage rights to certain royal properties. The catch? Camilla's daughter would be named co-administrator, effectively giving her control over these assets. A backdoor inheritance, a way to bypass the established line of succession. But Camilla underestimated one person, Princess Anne. The Princess Royal, often overlooked in the media frenzies surrounding her more glamorous siblings, possesses a sharp mind, an unwavering sense of duty, and a loyalty to the crown that runs deeper than blood. Do you notice the discrepancies, the unusual meetings, the frantic activities surrounding the establishment of the foundation? And she began to dig. Anne, a woman who prefers action to fanfare, became a silent investigator, piecing together the puzzle, connecting the dots, and uncovering a plot that threatened to unravel everything her mother had worked to protect. Her loyalty wasn't just to the crown, it was to her brother, King Charles, who, blinded by love and years of devotion, couldn't see the betrayal unfolding right under his nose. The evidence mounted: a misplaced document, a torn fragment of a letter mentioning Laura Lopes' solicitor, and the hushed whispers of concerned royal advisors. Princess Anne knew she had to act, even if it meant confronting her brother with a truth that would shatter his world. The stage was set for a showdown at Buckingham Palace, a confrontation that would determine not only the fate of Camilla, but the future of the monarchy itself. Was King Charles strong enough to put duty before love? Was he willing to sacrifice his own happiness to protect the crown he inherited? The answer, as we were about to discover, would shock the world. The confrontation was swift, brutal in its honesty, and laid out the evidence, cold and irrefutable, on the polished surface of Charles's desk. The king, initially resistant, his face etched with disbelief, slowly crumbled under the weight of the facts. He saw the charitable foundation for what it was: a gilded cage for his mother's legacy, and a vault for Camilla's ambition. The betrayal cut deep, not just the financial impropriety, but the violation of trust. He had defended Camilla against a skeptical public, championed her right to be queen, and she had repaid him with deceit. It was a blow to his heart and a threat to his throne. Charles, however, is no fool. Years of navigating treacherous royal waters had honed his instincts. He knew he couldn't react emotionally. He needed a strategy, a way to expose the plot without triggering a full-blown constitutional crisis. And so he began to play his own game. The charity gala was Camilla's masterstroke, a public spectacle designed to box Charles in. But Anne had foreseen it, armed him with the legal ammunition he needed. His refusal to sign, delivered with a calm that belied the turmoil within, was a calculated checkmate. He had called Camilla's bluff, exposed her hand to the world without uttering a single accusatory word. But the game wasn't over. Camilla, cornered but not defeated, turned to the weapon she knew best: emotional manipulation. Handwritten letters, tearful phone calls, a desperate plea for forgiveness. She invoked their shared history, the years of struggle, the unwavering love that had defied convention. It was a performance worthy of an Oscar, but Charles was no longer buying it. He had seen behind the mask, glimpsed the ruthless ambition that lurked beneath the surface. The love he once felt had curdled into a cold, hard sense of duty. The crown, the monarchy, the legacy of his mother, these were the things that mattered now. The investigation that followed was swift and merciless. Charles unleashed a team of discreet but relentless investigators, bypassing the usual palace bureaucracy. He wanted the truth, the whole truth, and he was willing to pay for it. The key turned out to be one of Camilla's trusted advisors, a man whose loyalty was ultimately dictated by the size of his paycheck. Offered a substantial sum and the promise of anonymity, he cracked. He handed over the evidence: encrypted hard drives, hidden documents, a detailed blueprint of the entire scheme. The evidence was damning. Irrefutable proof that Camilla had intended to divert royal assets into the foundation, granting her daughter control and effectively rewriting the line of succession. Charles read the documents with a growing sense of horror. He had been played, manipulated, and almost robbed blind. The royal council convened in secret, the atmosphere thick with tension. Charles presented the evidence, laying bare Camilla's treachery with clinical precision. There were no tears, no recriminations, just the cold, hard facts. The decision was swift and unanimous. Camilla had crossed a line. She had abused her position, betrayed the trust of the king, and threatened the very foundation of the monarchy. There was only one course of action. She had to be removed. The decree was absolute. Stripped of her titles, exiled from royal duties, erased from the official record as much as humanly possible. It was a fall from grace of epic proportions. A Shakespearean tragedy played out in the cold, unforgiving light of modern media. The question remains, was it justified? Was this a ruthless act of a king protecting his crown, or a necessary sacrifice to preserve the very soul of the monarchy? Some will argue that Charles acted swiftly and decisively, preventing a catastrophic erosion of public trust. Others will see it as a brutal betrayal of a woman he once loved, a public humiliation that served to reinforce the archaic power structures of the royal family. Whatever your view, the consequences were undeniable. Camilla's departure left a void, a gaping hole in the carefully constructed facade of royal unity. The whispers started again, louder this time, questioning Charles's judgment, his ability to lead, and the very future of the monarchy in an increasingly skeptical world. But in the midst of the turmoil, a new star began to rise. Catherine, Princess of Wales, stepped into the breach, assuming the mantle of protector of the royal estate. Her appointment was a strategic masterstroke, a clear signal that the future of the monarchy lay firmly in the hands of William's line. Catherine, with her poise, grace, and unwavering dedication to duty, became the embodiment of royal stability. She was the antidote to the chaos and uncertainty that Camilla had unleashed, a symbol of hope and renewal in a time of crisis. But even as Catherine shone, the shadow of Camilla lingered. The scandal had exposed the fragility of the monarchy, the ever-present threat of internal conflict, and the lengths to which those seeking power would go to achieve their ambitions. Charles, forever scarred by the betrayal, retreated further into his shell, becoming more guarded, more isolated than ever before. The weight of the crown, already heavy, became almost unbearable. He had saved the monarchy, but at what cost? The story of King Charles, Camilla, and Princess Anne is a cautionary tale, a reminder that even in the 21st century, the ancient power struggles of kings and queens continue to shape the course of history. It's a story of love, betrayal, ambition, and sacrifice, a story that raises profound questions about the nature of power, the burden of duty, and the enduring legacy of the House of Windsor. And as the dust settles, one thing is clear: the monarchy will never be the same. The wounds inflicted by this scandal may heal, but the scars will remain, a permanent reminder of the day the king was forced to choose between love and the crown, a choice that changed everything.